How's it? Today is Monday, January 29th. We are officially in a new block. Today started off with some snatch work. I talked with my coach today to figure out what he thinks is a good plan forward. And it starts off with this. Some dumbbell overhead static holds, 25 pounds, just a little warm up for my shoulder, just to make sure that I'm able to move properly. I finally did look through the textbook that I have, and actually, I was doing a lot of the things that it said to do, save for a few more targeted upper back T spine. T spine is thoracic spine movements, and like I used to do those in the past. I just haven't really been putting too much effort into them, and so I'm gonna start doing that now. It mainly consists of using that one of those peanuts, the rubber peanuts, to essentially like shove into my T-spine and gain some flexibility there. But yeah, today was the first day I talked with my coach about programming in a very long time. You know, I use him as a tool, like a thesaurus, an encyclopedia of ideas. Because I'm mostly self-sufficient. Like I could figure out what I want to do, what I think I need to be doing, and how to fix certain things and how to achieve a certain goal. It's just sometimes if I'm on the fence, like 60% sure about what I should be doing, it becomes like, oh, I'll just talk to Steve and then I'll figure out what I want to do. And right now, that's kind of where it's at. And talking to him was really reassuring. He said that right now there's not a lot of need to be doing specific things. So we took out all of the overhead warm up stuff that I used to always do on the Mondays because for right now, my shoulder's not in the healthiest position. So it doesn't need to be drilled as hard. We want to be moving with good intent and we want to be moving pain free before I can push weights, I guess, responsibly. Like I like for all of the lifts today, I feel like I was doing pretty well. I feel like I could snatch 70 for three threes pretty easily. This was kind of a day where he said, well, we'll start off with something slow, we'll start off something light so that it feels like I'm not moving a lot today. Here's my first set of three of snatches at 70. I told him that I snatched on Friday a set of three, and he was like, okay, probably it's a good place to start just because we know that my shoulder doesn't hurt with this weight, and we know that I'm able to do it pretty well, pretty easily, so just kind of slow build from here. I'm pretty, honestly, I'm pretty excited trying to figure out what will be happening next. Even though I was lifting a lot heavier last block, but this time it's like I have a little bit more guidance. For the last like 2 months or so, I don't know if I made a mention of it. Probably not, but it was mostly self-guided. Like not mostly, like 100% self-guided. So getting back to things that I don't necessarily decide on, I think is good because you get into that trap where it's like, I should be trying harder. I should be doing these things better. I should be pushing more weight. I should be doing more volume. All of these things become dangerous if you're not super healthy, like right now. So, snatches today, again, he said the goal was to feel like when I walk out of the gym that I didn't do a lot. And in all honesty, that's how I felt today. um, at 70, like, I could power snatch triple this pretty handily. So, just being able to do it normally is to be expected, and I don't expect myself to be tired at all. As far as that goes, I did some snatch pulls afterwards, so 5 5s at 80, which again, pretty easy. These did produce a little bit of discomfort in my right shoulder, however, so it feels like I'm learning more and more about the shoulder every single day. Like a couple months ago, there were a couple movements that I knew to avoid, and then few weeks ago, it's like, oh, those movements do produce the pain sometimes, and sometimes they don't. And I think that I'm getting more to a point where that needle of moving in that range of like, oh, is it hurting or is it not hurting, is dialing in a lot closer to things that I know are going to start to hurt it. So the part that it hurts the most here is when I get to extension and then I'm pulling up on the bar. So right here, right at the top of the extension. It's not the part where I start to lower the weight, because once I start to lower the weight, that's essentially me not pulling at all. It's just like kind of holding onto the bar and then just letting that thing fall down all the way to the ground. The way I'm doing pulls today is typical of how I do pulls. I don't necessarily think it's super helpful to get all the way on my toes. I think that I've said it a couple times in the past, but it's very easy to um, do a calf raise at almost any position with almost any weight. Like I could probably calf raise 600 pounds. So doing it with 80 kilos, 176 is not very impactful. And a lot of times what ends up happening is if I end up getting on my toes, then my legs don't get complete extension. And getting complete extension from my knee is much, much, much more valuable than getting extension at my ankles. So I'm trying my best to train the extension as fundamentally clean as possible. And then after that, I'm doing some pull-ups. So these pull-ups are actually a little bit different than normal. Normally I do sets of 12. Like I try to do 1, 2, or 3 sets depending on how much time I have. But today he said do like 8 sets of 5. He said 6 to 8 sets of 5. Kind of go controlled up and very like tempo down. He said don't rush them, and like said to kind of just feel the stretch in the lower back on the way down and feel the contraction on the way up. So that's what I did today. It felt pretty good. Normally I do 3 12s, which is 36 reps, but 8 5s is 40 reps. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see if my upper back feels fatigued or what have you. But that volume is a lot high, is a lot higher than what I normally do. That's like 25% more than what I normally do. Finished off today with some GHD sit-ups because I didn't want to do my Pallof press, because I actually went to Topgolf yesterday, and my left side is a little sore from swinging so hard. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Shoots.